Most people think tests are obvious. Questions, challenges, confrontations. But the most important tests in life are subtle, silent, and you usually don't realize you're being tested until you fail. Today, you're going to learn how people test you psychologically, in conversations, relationships, social situations, and power dynamics, without ever telling you they're doing it. Once you see these tests, you can't unsee them. Human beings are constantly assessing each other. Not consciously, not logically, instinctively. People want to know one thing about you. Where do you stand in the social hierarchy? And they find out by testing your emotional control. The first thing people test is your reactions. They'll say something slightly disrespectful, slightly dismissive, slightly provocative. Not enough to cause a scene, just enough to see what you do. If you overreact, you signal insecurity. If you explain yourself, you signal need. If you get defensive, you signal weakness. They're not attacking you. They're gathering information. One of the most common tests is interruption. Someone cuts you off mid-sentence. If you stop talking immediately, you signal submission. If you rush to finish your point nervously, you signal pressure. Calm people pause, then continue speaking slowly. That response passes the test. Another test is teasing disguised as humor. It sounds playful, but it's a probe. They're watching your emotional response. Do you laugh comfortably? Do you become tense? Do you try to prove yourself? The test isn't the joke. The test is whether you stay grounded. People also test you through silence. They stop responding. They delay replies. They create awkward pauses. This tests your need for validation. If you chase the silence, you fail. If you remain composed, you pass. Silence reveals who needs who more. Here's a test most people miss completely. They give you less than you expect. Less respect, less attention, less effort. They want to see if you tolerate it. If you accept poor treatment quietly, you teach people how to treat you. If you stay calm but firm, you reset the dynamic. People also test your boundaries. They ask for favors too soon. They push into personal topics. They demand explanations you don't owe. Your response tells them everything. Oversharing is a fail. Overexplaining is a fail. Anger is a fail. Calm refusal passes the test. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most tests aren't about dominance. They're about predictability. People feel safest around those they understand. And the fastest way to understand someone is to see how they react under pressure. If you're predictable, you're easy to control. This is why emotional people are tested more. Because emotion invites manipulation. When someone sees they can shift your mood, they gain leverage. Calm people don't give that leverage away. Another common test is disrespect disguised as honesty. I'm just being real. I'm just saying what everyone thinks. They're watching to see if you collapse or stay centered. You don't need to confront. You don't need to argue. Sometimes the most powerful response is a neutral expression and silence. That alone passes the test. People also test you by comparing you to others. They mention someone better, more successful, more confident. They're checking for jealousy. Jealousy reveals insecurity. Calm acknowledgement reveals strength. Now pay attention to this. Most people fail tests because they think every test requires a response. It doesn't. The strongest position is often non-reactivity. When you don't bite, the test ends. Calm people understand something most don't. You're always being watched. Your posture, your tone, your pace. People read emotional stability before they listen to words. That's why calmness commands respect. Without effort. Here's the darker part. Once someone realizes you can't be easily tested, they stop trying to dominate you. They become cautious, more respectful, more measured, because calmness disrupts manipulation. This is why ancient philosophers valued restraint, why Stoics trained emotional discipline, why powerful leaders spoke slowly. They knew something modern society forgot. control your reactions, and you control the interaction. So the next time someone says something off, interrupts you, delays you, pushes you, don't assume it's random. It's information gathering, and how you respond determines how you're treated going forward. This is shadow psychology. Understand the mind, control the outcome,